All right, so I only have a couple more examples. This is when you have an instant where they don't give you any rates or anything, but they give you a couple of examples, and then using the examples, you're able to figure out equations and rates and stuff. All right, so here's what we do. So now the problem gives you two sample points. So we're going to say x1, y1, and x2, y2. Now, if we recall, we can always find slope given 2 points. And that's what we're going to play on this one. All right. So to surf the internet for 25 minutes at an internet cafe, it costs $7.25. All right. So again, it's always cost per minute is what we're interested. It looks like cost per minutes. So what we want to do is we want to put x as our minutes. So I'm gonna write over here the ordered pairs, and I'm gonna do the work on the left here. All right, so my first example is 25 minutes at $7.25, and the next one says 40 minutes at $9.80. So what they want us to do is they want us to figure out, we need M, and we use one of the points. Okay, so write a linear. So basically we're gonna do the same thing we did with point slope from the previous video after we find the slope. So we're going to have to find the slope here. So again, just subtract. Remember, slope is y1 minus y2 over x1 over x2. So we're going to do, remember these are the x's, so be careful. So we're going to do 725 minus 980 over 25 minus 40. Okay, so I'm going to use decimals for both of that thing since I got it in front of me. Figure this out. So 725 minus 980. So that's 255. And then 25, that's 4. That's 15. Both of those are negatives, but the negatives will knock each other out. So let me put that in. So 2.55 divided by 15 is 17. So we're paying 17 cents a minute. Okay. So 17 cents a minute, write an equation. So here we are. We're going to write down, let's see, we don't know, we got to use point slope. So we're going to do, remember you can pick either point. It doesn't matter. I did that in a previous lesson. So y minus, let's do 980, sorry, and 40. Oh, we know this. We know the 0.7. X minus 40. Remember, we know the slope. This is 0.17. Sorry. All right. So again, we do some little bit of math here. Y minus 980 equals 0.17x. 0.17 times 40. $680. All right, and then we're going to bring the 980 over. Okay, so y equals 0.17x plus 3. All right, so then what's my cost for 1 hour? 1 hour, remember we're in minutes. So 1 hour equals 60 minutes. So I got to put a 60 in here. So let's do that. Y equals 0.17 times 60 plus 3. So I'm going to put in my decimals over here. 0.17 times 60 plus 3. $13.20. $13.20 is how much it would cost per hour at this internet cafe. All right, let's do the next one. Water boils at 100 degrees Celsius or 212 Fahrenheit. Water freezes at 0 Celsius or 32 degrees Fahrenheit. If the weather forecaster says it will be 25 degrees Celsius today, write and solve a linear equation to find out what Fahrenheit temperature this is. All right, so we're comparing Celsius with Fahrenheit, and they give us two examples. So we're going to make X our Celsius, and we're going to make Y our Fahrenheit. So this is X, this is Y. All right, so 100 is to 212, and 0 is to 32. Ooh, I like this one because this is the y-intercept right here, so that's good. We can add the plus 32. We don't have to do a lot of figuring. As soon as we find, we don't actually need to do point slope. We can use it's much easier because of this, because this is already the y-intercept. So we like that. Okay, so let's figure out the slope. So again, 212 minus 32 over 100 minus 0. Well, that's easy. Okay, that's 100, and 212 minus 32 is 180. Yes, 180. Okay, so that's going to work out to be, let's see, 9. Okay, so again, go back to, I put 9/5, but I'm explaining to you how I got it. If you put 180 divided by 100 in the calculator and hit over here this little fraction thing, it'll reduce it. Here's my 9/5. Okay, so 9/5, that's my thing I want to use. And again, I already have the y-intercept, so I don't have to use point slope. So this one's actually an easier one. So y equals 9/5 x plus 32, because I can get that from here. This is the y-intercept location. All right, so that's the b, right? So I could actually use mx plus b, a lot less work. Okay, this was a little more work because I didn't know what the intercept was. Here I do now. Now it says write an equation to find what Fahrenheit temperature this is, because he's interested at 25 degrees Celsius, which is our x. So I got to put a 25 in there. 9/5 times 25 plus 32. Okay. Let me show you another trick too, just to kind of play with your noodle a little bit. All right, 9/5 times 25 plus 32. 77. It's 77 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, here's another thing that I'll just kind of, if you want to see something that's kind of weird, watch this. So let me put in y equals this time instead of all that. Put in y equals. So y equals the 9/5 x plus 32. All right, so this is the generic. This shows you every single possible answer. And what I could do is I could go look up 25. Watch. Okay, so there's, let's see, zoom, here's 30. Let's see, 25. All right, so here's the 25 line right here. See where it says 25? Go all the way up to where the line hits. Check it out. Now remember, here you go, 25 comma 77. So when x was 25, y was 77. So you could actually use the graph to look up. So if they gave you 5 more questions about what would happen, you know, with different Celsius, you could actually just go along this line and find them up. You could find 10 degrees, you could find 15 degrees, you can do whatever without plugging them in every single time. You can actually use the graph. All right. Okay, last one. We're up to 9 minutes, so let's do this one as quickly as we can. This is a decrease one, so we got a negative going on. The value of a car decreases at a constant rate. After 3 years, the value is 15,000. After 2 more years, the value is 11,000. Write the value of the car after 8 years. All right, so we got to watch out. Okay, so the first one, it says 3 years, so we're at 3 years. The car is worth 15,000. Now be careful, because look what it says next. It says after 2 more years. So if 2 more years have passed from the beginning, it's 5, right? 2 years past the 3 years. So that's 5 years. Be careful. They always seem to do those kinds of tricky things. Again, it says 2 more years. It's like 2 more years later. So from the beginning, it's been 5 years. All right. So now I have this, and I'm going to figure out what my rate is. So let's do that. So 15,000 minus 11,000, all divided by, where am I? 3 minus 5. Okay, so this comes out to be 4,000, right? Yep, and this is 2, negative 2. So it's dropping by $2,000 a year. Okay, basically. All right, so they want to know, so it's dropping by 2,000. So if I do that, he wants to know what happens after 8 years. So I can make my equation. Let's do that. So I'm going to use either point. It doesn't matter. So I'm going to use the top point. So I'm going to do y minus 15,000 equals negative 2,000 times x minus, let's go with the 15,000, the 3. Okay, so y minus 15,000 equals negative 2,000x. Remember, all the first step does is add x to the negative 2,000, and this becomes 6,000. Okay, bring that over. Bring that over. Okay, plus. And so some interesting things you're going to find out here. Okay, so now we have negative 2,000x plus 21,000. All right, now, what does this equation mean? This means that this is, if no time had passed by, this is actually the value of your car. Your value of your car was actually $21,000 to start out with. All right, but it's that's just a side question. So it could have asked you instead find the value of the car at the beginning. It would have been this guy right here, because this is when no time. Remember, X is years. No time has passed by, so this is gone. If that's gone, that means your value of your car was $21,000. If that was the question, but it's asking you what will happen in 8 years, so we're going to put an 8 in there. Okay, so when you do that, you can use Desmos for that. That's if you need to. This is negative 16 plus 21, so that's 5,000. So the answer to the question is 5,000 bucks. That's how much your car is worth after 8 years. That's why the cars depreciates very fast. That's why used car sales after about 8 or 10 years, you get a pretty decent car for a low amount of money. So, all right, that's it for me.